Hi, my name is Christina Garcia, your host for today's Library Tuesdays. I'm here with Christine Miller, librarian from the Humanities Department at the Central Library. We're going to dig into her selection, the Cask of Amontillado, a classic by Edgar Allan Poe.
Right.
Hi, Christine.
Hi.
Tell me about why you selected this particular story.
Okay, well, when I was first asked to come up with a favorite short story to kick off our Library Tuesdays with Write Out Loud, I started to think back to something that I just didn't know what I was going to come up with. And all of a sudden, what surfaced was Edgar Allan Poe. And it brought me back to like my 8th grade reading, which I hadn't thought about in a long time. And this story came up for me. As I remembered it, it was like a very creepy, sort of eerie story full of images and suspense, and
that's Poe for you.
It just impressed me. It made an impression on me because I believe it was one of those stories where you come to sort of, it's not like just a kid story, but it feels like an important thing, and that's what I remembered. As an 8th grader, I just had this sense that like, this is somebody, this is something, and so that was fun to think about.
Awesome. Okay, and so was this the clear choice, or were there any other favorites that you thought about? Anyone else sneak in there?
Yeah, for some reason I kept also thinking about Henry James, which is also one of my favorite authors. And as I thought more and more, I don't know why I connected those. It just was connected for me. And then I realized, of course, they are connected. So historically, and even though James came kind of after Poe in terms of literary history, he was very much influenced by Edgar Allan Poe, at the same time critical of him. It just kind of created this interesting juxtaposition between these two authors. And what I also realize is that they're both of the Gothic fiction genre.
Right.
And again, as an 8th grader, I did not know what Gothic, I wouldn't be able to say these are Gothic fiction stories, but looking back and seeing it in context, is like, that's what it is. And so they're fun stories, they're dark, they're good for October, for our like creepy time of the year, and it, I think that they just draw you in.
Nice. Well, so this book right here, this is a pretty exciting looking title here. Where can we find some more classics in the style of Poe and James?
Yeah, so this is one of our holdings. What I like about this book is it's different writers talking about how they were influenced by Poe.
Oh, nice.
And so it has the story we're talking about, but it also has a bunch of other really popular stories like The Telltale Heart and The Pit and the Pendulum and Fall of the House of Usher. In our catalog for San Diego Public Library, you can search for these titles specifically, or you could search by author. You can search for a subject heading about American 19th century literature, ghost stories, Gothic fiction, and you'll find a lot of recommendations in the catalog through our novelist database. They will show up in the catalog, or you can search novelist directly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christine, and thank you everyone who's been joining us for this edition of Library Tuesdays.
Thanks, Christina.
Thank you.